everyone, my name is Caroline Anggowijoyo and I'm a 7th semester student of International Business Management major at Petra Christian University, Indonesia. This is my social media project for my last academic semester before I go further into internship as well as experiencing the real working life. In the process of making this video, I learned further about my character, my working attitude tendency, as well as my personality as a team leader and as a team member. In order to explain about myself, I'm going to preach and incorporate my self-personality with my future career plan using the Action Learning Framework. The Action Learning Framework was taught by Professor Casey Chan during my 4 semesters in IBM, and it is a framework to bridge the knowing and doing gap. Throughout the explanation process, I will ask about what in order to come up with the right planning. Then I will ask 5 times why in order to form the right decision making. Later on, questions of how, who, and when will help me to form the right control. And in order to make sure I'm having the right outcome, I will ask the question where. Last, for the right analysis, I will ask the question of how much. First, for what, I will ask 3 questions. First question is, what are my 4 key attributes? Second question is, what is my personality? And third question is, what have I learned and applied? In order to answer all these 3 questions, I will use the following diagram. It involves finding out my self-assessments, individual competence, team capacity, as well as organization capability. So first, what are my 4 key attributes? I believe my 4 key attributes are creative, persistent, organized, and quality-oriented. Therefore, the first question of what has been answered already. Next, to answer the second question, I will start by finding out my individual competence through learning style tests, general enterprising tests, and Big 5 tests. For learning style tests, my highest score is on pragmatist. It means I am more of an action learner who likes to solve problems and practical learning. Next, for my general enterprising test, my highest score is on need for autonomy and drive and determination. As for need for autonomy, I work my best when I'm alone and have the freedom to do things the way I want. I also tend to be stubborn and determined. With drive and determination, I am more of a proactive and I believe in independent achievement. So, I am self-confident and have the belief that I can only achieve success through effort and by taking advantage of opportunities. Last, for my Big 5 test, my highest score is on openness to experience, and second highest is conscientiousness. Openness to experience means I am interested with my new experience and intellectual pursuits. I also am imaginative, curious, and open-minded. Conscientiousness means I tend to be honest and hardworking. I also tend to follow rules and prefer clean home. Moving on to looking for my team capacity or my personality as a team member. Here, I am going to find out through Belbin's model. My first highest result is on Shaper. This means that I am more of a dynamic person and I have the drive and courage to overcome obstacles. However, this can cause me to provoke others and hurts people's feelings. The second highest result are Monitor Evaluator and Completer Finisher. As a Monitor Evaluator, I am usually strategic and able to see all options possible. I also tend to judge accurately. However, I might lack the drive and ability to inspire others, and I can be overly critical. As a completer finisher, I tend to be anxious and often search for errors. I also try my best to deliver on time. However, this means I can be inclined to worry about nothing and too perfectionist. Moving on to finding out about organizational capability or my capability to maintain an organization, which can be found from leadership tasks. My 2 highest answers are motivating and inspiring, as well as negotiating. For motivating and inspiring, I usually create an environment to meet the objectives, while at the same time offering self-satisfaction by providing what people value the most. As for negotiating, I can talk with others in order to collaborate or reach an agreement. To conclude my personality, all these personality test results can be analyzed by seeing the connection and relation from one to another. This analysis will be discussed further in the later section. So, the second question I've already covered, And moving on to the third question in the what section. Basically, to sum up what I have learned and applied, I can summarize it into three things. First, working pace improvement. I learned to be faster, better, and smarter, and I was able to apply it during my on the job training, and the result is I have higher productivity. I also learned about problem solving, in which I become less scatterbrained by using various frameworks and choosing which one is suitable, and also it is easier for me therefore to make a decision. Next, I also learned to do everything wholeheartedly. Throughout my academic years, I learned that anything done in love is done well. Therefore, I learned to be persistent and work well even under pressure. So, all the three questions have been covered and the section what is done. Moving on to the next section, which is through asking 5 times of why. The first why self-assessment is important. The answer is because without having a self-awareness, it will be hard to continue the process to improve on leadership, management, and entrepreneurship. Second, why should I strive to be balanced in terms of personality and strength and weakness? The answer is by trying to have a more homogeneous personality, there will be less room for improvement, meaning it should become easier to improve. Third, why leadership is important? The answer is because leadership is about inspiring people to do things they never thought they could. Only then we could excel in management and entrepreneurship to create a high performance culture. Fourth, why start now to improve? By starting to improve from now, we can plan better for the future. It takes time to improve, and at the same time, we can see and strive for our projected career plan. Fifth and last question, why it could be beneficial for others. When we can make a significant change to the company and society, we can be a master of change and influence others to be successful as well. So, after covering the 5 times why, we can move on to the next section, which is systems thinking involving the question how, who, and when. To sum all the answer up, I am going to use the input process output diagram and later on use balance scorecard to check. The input will be the personality task that we have covered earlier, and for the process, will be by answering the two questions. First, how can I use my attributes and personality to achieve my goals and share to others so together we can learn faster, better, and smarter? And then, who can support and help me to achieve my career plan? For the first question, now that I have the idea about my competence and incompetence, I should know what my competencies that I still have not discovered yet, and having the mastery skill of something that I'm passionate about. I also should develop myself by finding out my distinct competence and going towards the process further. Knowing about my insight, motivation, and having a new knowledge and skills, I have to be prepared to use it for real world application and making sure I'm accountable. Not only that, I also have to learn to be a highly capable individual and contributing team member. Later on in life, I have to also be a competent manager, effective leader, as well as a master coach or change agent. For the next question in the process section, the answer is of course friends, business partner, family, and mentor. But it would also be good if I have a role model. Therefore, I choose Steve Jobs as my role model, and in life I should learn to apply the 7 principles of Steve Jobs. After going through input and process, the output can be seen by answering the question when am I planning to achieve my career plan. So actually 1 year from now, I am planning to take a course in New Zealand, which is UB School of Design, taking major related to digital marketing and branding. 3 years from now, I am planning to start working in a multinational company as a digital marketer or brand analyst. 5 years from now, I am planning to create my own digital marketing agency and incorporating fresh graduates as well as freelancers as my employees. 10 years from now, I will develop my business further and at the same time settling down and having a work-life balance. Now, in order to check whether my input, process, and output is correct, I'm going to check using the digital marketer or brand analyst KPIs. There are four main key performance indicators that are usually used, which are whether one can pay attention to customer wants or being customer centric, whether one marketing or brand strategy can increase sales, or whether one can do disruptive thinking in facing the fast changing industry, as well as whether one can trigger awareness. To put it a little differently, I have to strive to think what no one else is thinking and do what no one else is doing. So the holistic, critical, and systems thinking has been covered. Now, in order to see the lessons learned, I will see by answering the question where, which is where it goes right and wrong. After doing all the personality tests and looking through my career plan and goals, I will evaluate what I need to improve. First, seeing from the personality and leadership style test result, I can see that I am open to other people's ideas. However, I need to learn to take initiative and improve on extroversion in order to lead a team better. Next, by seeing how the personality and leadership style affect my team behavior, I can be motivating and inspiring, and I already have the capability to persevere and trying to do my best so a task finishes perfectly. But I usually better off working alone. Therefore, I need to improve on this in order to become a better project manager by coordinating with people. To see how it aligns with my learning style, since I'm a shaper and finisher, it goes along with me liking to see everything in practice, as I am an action learner. However, being low in active phase means I need to be more extrovert and take initiatives more often. Seeing how all this connects with my entrepreneurship, I need to do most things in my own way and I have the drive and determination to make things happen. However, I need to improve on my creative tendency, which is to be more flexible and innovative, as well as calculated risk taking, as in having the ability to evaluate and manage risk. Last step on the action learning is by doing lateral thinking or asking how much in order to finish with the right analysis. The question is, how much should I strive to improve? And to answer this question, I am going to use the disruptive thinking diagram, which is to create opportunities, innovate my solution, as well as destroying my weakness and obstacles, and later on checking through the list of rethink, redefine, redesign, re-engineer, and rejuvenate. To explain this in a more complete way, I am incorporating the disruptive thinking with the onion diagram and 6 thinking hats. First, seeing things in a bigger picture holistically, I need to be able to take control and have the ability to execute. Second, I also need to see the risk and potential problem by redefining which risk should I respond to and which risk should I prioritize. Third, I need to be more flexible and adaptable with the situation to always come up with a solution and contingency plan. Fourth, in order to always stay ahead of my competitor and face challenges later on, I need to be able to constantly innovate and reinvent so that I can be an expert in the future. Fifth, I also need to be optimistic and see the positive side so I can have a better communicative power with people and able to cooperate with my team or employees. Last, after doing all this, not to forget, I also have to maintain my emotional and mental health, so I will not focus only on working but also have a good life by always remembering to rejuvenate whenever I need to. Throughout it all, I believe by enhancing my strength and continuously improving on my weakness, combined with perseverance, I will be able to face the real world and achieve my career plan as well as my dream. That is all for me. My name is Caroline and thank you for watching.